So you can see I started the meeting with both audio and video muted. That's something that I highly recommend so that you avoid just barging into a meeting and not being ready, either you're the way you're sitting or your dress or something, and it's just disturbing to just barge into a meeting. So we're just gonna go over some of the stuff that we did during the live training, and hopefully I can capture really nicely now what's going on. The size of the screen that I'm capturing is not the full size of my monitor, so maybe when I go into the PowerPoint, you're not gonna see the entire PowerPoint, but just to give you an idea, right? So let's talk about the audio. So two things are really important when you are doing Zoom: your sound and your video. And if you need to pick one of the two, I will pick audio, sound, good quality, because ultimately if your video is having problem, you can always excuse yourself and put the picture on, like take the video off, and you can still keep talking and you know, convey your message. That's in an emergency. Not the ideal, but just in an emergency. So if you have to pick good quality, go for the audio. And then the second one, the video. And as far as the video, the lighting. Look at my shadow there and all, you know, everything there. So we're going to talk about that later. So audio. Unfortunately, some of the laptops, they have a pretty good microphone, but most of the laptops, they lack quality for video and audio. So if you get a webcam, which I highly recommend, you're gonna be having better both video and audio quality. So I'm using my HD Pro webcam, the C920. That's a Logitech. Doesn't matter. You Google it and you're gonna find 20,000 different cameras. As far as the speaker, same as system is usually what works better. You go to audio settings and you can test your microphone. I'm gonna test this microphone and see if you can hear me well when I'm talking, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna test this microphone and see if you can hear me well when I'm talking, blah, 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 blah. See, that was giving you a pretty nice idea of what the audience is receiving. So what we were talking about here, so volume for the microphone, I always like to play with manually. You can always adjust it, the volume automatically. Be my guest, play with it, put it in automatically, do different testing, and then decide if you want it manually or automatically. These three settings here, I highly recommend. Automatically join audio, this is what I was talking about at the beginning. Automatically join audio by computer when joining a meeting. What that does is that when you connect, it goes straight into the audio from the computer instead of selecting. I don't know if you have noticed, sometimes, you know, people log in and then they need to select if they want to use the audio from the computer or the iPad or a phone. Unless you are in a really remote area that you want to use a phone line, that's pretty useless right now. So select automatically join audio by computer when joining the meeting. But the next one, mute your microphone when joining the meeting, like I said at the beginning, and press and hold space key to temporarily unmute yourself. So let me show you what that is. I'm gonna close this here. So right now you can see that is on mute, but if I mute, you cannot hear me, but if I press the space bar, I can talk, say what I'm gonna say, and then unmute myself. Boom. That is very helpful when you are participating as a participant in a meeting, and of course you don't want to be interrupting. You just raise your hand When they give you the cue, you unmute yourself, say whatever you're gonna say, and boom, release the space bar, because you need to press and hold, and then you're gonna go back into mute. You don't need to be looking, to mute or unmute yourself. All right, let's go back to the audio settings here. Now we're gonna move into the advanced. The advanced, the only thing here, echo cancellation, just leave it in auto. If you put it aggressive, it's gonna be, you risk of having a pretty choppy sound. So leave it like in auto. Show in meeting option to enable sound from microphone. Show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone. So what that is when this is selected, this thing appears on your screen. You can see that. And then over there you have the option to select which microphone. Every time that I use my webcam, I want to use the original sound from the webcam, not passing through Zoom. So you have, if I have 3 or 4 microphones, every time that I use this one, I want to use the original sound. And you can change that anytime that you want. And you also need to make sure that if I'm webcam here, you also want to have your webcam selected here as a microphone. All right, that's pretty much it. The other setting that relates to audio is when you're sharing sound from the computer, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about share screen. So let's go to the video. You select that menu there and you have choose virtual background. These are the different cameras that you have. If I would have more than one camera connected, which I do not have right now, even though it's showing more sources, but I don't have those sources connected. If I would have my other webcam, I would just select Alt N to switch wide shot to close-up shot. That's pretty helpful, especially when you're teaching, and in yoga therapy even more so. You can, in that case, you can probably use your laptop as a close-up, which they're pretty good in close-up, and the wide shot from the webcam. So virtual background, here is where you select. If you're going to be using this feature within Zoom, I highly recommend that you have something green behind you, because if not, it's not going to show nice, well, pretty, and professional. So here I have selected none, so you can still see my background and my shadow. The moment I click, then it's like a totally different experience. You can select whatever you want. You can even select videos. This is a moving video. You can have any select moving video. If you're teaching something that you want to have, like, that's the Shala logo. I'm just going to leave this one. All right. See this here? If I click it, pick the color. I'm picking the green. But if I pick this one, it's going to delete that color. But my shirt looks pretty similar to that color, so don't do that. Let me see if I select this. So you can play with it. If I select this, still. So green is your best shot. And it plays with different shades of green, so it's okay. All right. Video filters, unless you're doing something that is not Shala related, I would not recommend you, because you don't want to look like that, or like a pirate. Pirates of the Caribbean. So this is just to play for family or party Zooming. So no filters. Virtual background. I'm gonna close this. So video. Again, video settings. What do we have here in video settings? So camera, webcam. Always enable high definition, unless your signal, your internet is having issues. If you're having issues that a specific day with your internet, just switch to original ratio or just unclick high definition. Mirror my video, what that means is that I'm raising my left arm hand here, and on my screen I'm seeing my left hand in the same space. If I would not have that clicked, it will show on the opposite side, and it's confusing when you're teaching. So it's that thing is for you when you're teaching. Raise your left arm so you see your left arm going up. Instead of looking on the screen, you might see it coming on the right side. So that's the trick of mirrors and pictures and all that. Touch up. So I'm gonna unclick the touch up here. I'm gonna be closer here. So you see, I don't have any touch here, but I have some wrinkles according to my age. So you don't want to have it on touch, especially if you're using a high resolution camera, high definition, and you're pretty close up. So I'm gonna always touch up a little bit. Don't overdo it, because I don't want to also look like I have no wrinkles in my life and like I'm 35, because I'm not 35. I'm way past my 50s. Okay, so I want to look closer to that, but I want to eliminate some of the, too much. Adjust for low light. It's in auto right now. If I don't have that, say I put it on manual, I can still play with that. Let me see if I eliminate some of the lighting here. This is between manual, just for you to see the difference. So it could be here. Auto goes, auto looks pretty good. I like that, but I also like a little bit more lighting. So always adjust for a low light, either automatically or manual. Turn off my video when joining meeting. I have that select. It's not selected here, but I have it selected somewhere else. Advanced here. What do you have here in advanced? Nothing that you would be touching at this moment. So forget about advanced here. So I'm going to unclick that. Okay, now let's switch to sharing. Sharing, you can share basic, advanced, or files. For now, forget about files. So let's say basic. Basic, you share the screen, and it's confusing sometimes, especially with this, because you don't have control of what's going on. But if you share, let's say I want to share the internet. Okay, then I can have anything on the screen here. Let's say I want to select the Shala, and it's not showing. Yeah. So you can have any website and show it nicely. All right. Also from here, and I'm gonna play it right now for you to notice the difference. So I'm gonna play from YouTube. So you're still seeing the YouTube, and oh lordy, so many political stuff right now. Anything here, just if I play this here, the audio is coming from my speaker. Play with the up sound, the level here. All right. That's not gonna mean. So let's say that you are in a training and you want to play a video.
Lung Foundation Australia,
the video is picking up from my speaker. It might not sound
addressing some
nice.
of the most commonly
So
asked
in that
questions
case, I'm
and
going to
symptoms
stop
that trouble
this.
people with chronic lung disease. The term chronic lung disease covers a large number of different
and I'm
diagnoses.
just going to share
There's a whole lot of
the same
different diseases
thing.
that can cause persisting
Where is
or
it?
chronic symptoms for patients. The most common
But I'm
of
going to
these
share the computer
include chronic
sound. That
obstructive
is
pulmonary
key here.
disease secondary to smoking,
And then
things like
it's a
emphysema and
different
chronic bronchitis,
experience,
but also
right there,
include interstitial
right?
lung diseases, bronchiectasis, and lung cancer.
So I'm going to stop
The
that.
symptoms of
and
chronic
I'm
lung
also gonna
disease,
stop.
being breathless all the time, having a cough, make it.
The other thing is when you want to share, well, this is the whiteboard that I show you. So you can do things here, high, hard. You can undo, redo, move, clear all drawing, clear my drawings, because you can have other people also drawing at the same time. And that's a pretty neat thing when you are teaching and explaining something. Even in your yoga therapy, you might want to, use this to show your clients specifically. You can, if you have a picture here, which I'm not gonna have it here, but I say you can even have a picture here and show them, this is specifically what you need to do. It's pretty handy. What other things you can do here? You can share your PowerPoints from the basic, which is what was the normal before. So when you do that, you click your PowerPoint, and then when you play back, like I said at the beginning, I'm doing different size. I'm capturing a different size from my screen, so might not see full screen, but that's the idea. And then you play back and blah blah blah. But there's no interaction with you. So I'm gonna stop that, and we're gonna go to the advanced. Advanced here is where you share your computer sound. So you're gonna click your beta PowerPoint as virtual background. Maybe by the time that we get to do the Gurukula, this is not gonna be beta anymore. When you share that, you look for your PowerPoint, you open it, and boom, it's there. It's full screen, and then you become this little thing here around. If you're going to be using this option, I highly recommend that your background is not busy. That's a busy background that you don't want to have, because you don't need that. It's distracting. So you want to have my face. Let's see. Like only this part here, I would be shooting straight with the background. And like we said, you can resize it, put it somewhere else. So you can also interact. So if I'm going to put it here, I'm going to say, if you look down, you're going to see the full, if you look down, you're going to see the full agenda. It's kind of like, it's neat and tricky. And not a lot of people are using it, so it's going to be, and then you can forward your slides here. So on the screen you're seeing me here. I can also go to the little 3 dots and say hi myself. So I'm still here, but I'm not showing there, so the screen is even bigger. So, and when you design your PowerPoint, if you're going to be using this option, play with it before you start designing your PowerPoint and make sure. So right now, this is my last year PowerPoint, I didn't have this option, so it was just full screen live at the Shala. So this year, my PowerPoint, I'm going to have a space within my slides, that probably somewhere here, that it's not going to have anything behind it. So I'm going to kind of like leave that little space there. And I can even design my PowerPoint with a little, see how I'm using that yellow thing there? So I can have my own little background for the PowerPoint. So it's pretty neat, but you need to plan in advance for your template. All right, I'm gonna stop that. Let's see, I think that's about it for now. All you need to know: original sound, good quality microphone and webcam, and not super busy background. This might not be a good background for a Gurukula presentation. So, you know, something more accordingly to even your own presentation. If I'm going to be presenting mine about Parkinson and something, I might have a graphic that I design specifically for that. That's a little bit more advanced, but maybe some of you are pretty handy at, you know, doing some graphics. So one last thing before we finish. So I'm going to eliminate the background here because I want to show you what I have here as light sources. So I have that, which is just a regular lamp right there, and I also have my light at the top. Nothing extraordinary there. So that's my credit card. So like, all right. If I don't have this light here, and this one is like that, that's the difference between having a good camera that it's picking up some nice quality. And remember that I have the setting for the low light. So let's see what happens if we go to, yeah, it's still picking up a pretty well. I have light coming from the outside also. So just make sure that the quality of your lighting is good. Remember, audio first, video second, and lighting. Those are your three things. And make sure that you're framing your camera at the right place. Sometimes people are joining Zoom meeting and all you see is this. No good. All right. See, the sunlight went down. Look at my video. So that's why you want to have good lighting. Pointing case. If you need anything else, you have my email and my phone that you can contact me directly or through Melinda, Grisel, or Tony. And I'm going to be sending you this video with the resources.